Hey guys. I swear I always laugh at the beginning. I don't know why. But we're doing salmon today.
Yes, salmon and squash.
Home cooked meal. Well, it's squash / zucchini.
Yes.
Look at that.
Delicious.
I'm always afraid of it falling when I show it. Oh, and capers are really good with fish. If you like saltiness, because they're very salty.
So we get the salmon from the meat department. We don't get it frozen. Obviously, it probably is frozen when it comes to the meat department. But one thing that we like to do, when you go to the meat department, they'll have herbs and lime and butter that you can get for free with your salmon or whatever meat you buy. And
do you want capers?
I'm good. So we get that. So we get thyme, fresh rosemary, and then of course we get a couple of the. What I do is I get a little lime slice like this, and it comes with little like circle butter things, and I just put the butter on top of the lime when I cook it, and it like goes through the lime. It makes it delicious, and then you squeeze it all over it, and it is divine.
Salmon is very good. I love salmon. And I do the squash and zucchini. I take out the seeds because the seeds make it gushy and gross. Or just, it's not gross, but it's just gooey.
Oh yeah.
So I take out the seeds, it's so much better, and I put our seasoning, which is called Slap Your Mama, and some butter, and a little bit of like, either I'll do minced garlic or powdered garlic. Tonight I did powdered garlic.
Check your Walmart for Slap Your Mama. They started to sell it. It's a brand out of Louisiana.
It's a southern spice.
I love salmon.
This salmon is huge though. Look at that.
It's super thick. It's like over an inch thick. It's ridiculous.
Hopefully I can eat it all because we usually don't get it. It's so big. But I love salmon, so. And also this is a good idea for January. Since I know a lot of people are doing like their January diets. And if you are, salmon is a really good one to do.
Very healthy for you.
Capers go good with it. And then I got iced tea here. No, it's not whiskey.
Lemonade.
Even if it was, I don't drink whiskey, so. Iced tea. So, today we're going to talk about moving.
Just in general.
Just wondering, like, have you guys, well, I mean, most of you guys, I'm sure, have moved before.
Everybody's moved at least once in their life. Unless they're still, living at their parents' house.
Yeah. Which
But
you
even
could
then,
be. There's like 12-year-olds that watch this stuff.
But you might have even gone through a move with your parents. I know I went through a couple.
I never did.
No?
We lived in the same spot in California forever.
I went through a huge move.
My first move was to move to Colorado.
Back when I was in 5th grade, we moved from Nebraska to the state of Washington. And that was a heck of a drive. And then a year later, we moved back to Nebraska.
Well, not everybody drives. Some people fly.
We drove. What was funny, this is a great story. So, driving back from Washington, instead of getting a moving van, my little brother and little sister's dad, my mom never married him, so I can't say my stepdad, but he decided he was going to get an old beat up milk van and fix it up. And what should have been a 2-day drive back to Nebraska turned into this 2-week trip from hell. I mean, literally, it was awful.
And what's your favorite song?
And yes, so we would sing On the Road Again, and every time we sang On the Road Again, either the van we were driving or the milk truck would break down. And Gary, my little brother and little sister's father, changed the engine in the milk truck twice, like on the side of the road. Had to rent a cherry picker, change the engine twice. It was ridiculous. Like, for what we paid for the 2 new engines that they pulled out of a junkyard, we could have easily got back, with the cost of a U-Haul. Oh man, it was an awful trip. And Gary was driving the milk truck. He didn't even have a seat in the milk truck. Yes, it was this old crappy milk truck, and he didn't even have a regular seat. He had a bucket he was sitting on, like a 5-gallon bucket turned over, and he's just cruising right along in it. And I remember distinctly, like, the first night we were driving, we saw the Christmas tree fly off, and all, like, the decorations and everything, like the box that had all the decorations and all the lights, and we were just like, oh no, and all the kids were freaking out and crying. And and my mom was driving the van.
How old would you say you were?
It was just after 6th grade. Or no. I think I moved there when I was in 4th grade. I was there in 5th grade.
I'm sorry, go on.
And then came back for 6th grade. But so my mom had this old, just a regular van, probably a 1980s van, and it was her driving. We always had one of the kids up in the passenger seat. My little brother, little sister. So it was my little brother, my little sister, me, and my older sister. So there was 4 kids and my mom.
You can take a bite while you're talking.
I know. And it was just insane. We even, like, there was one point where we broke down at, like, Devil's Canyon, or it was some Hell's something. And it was kind of a joke for a while until it kept happening. But we finally pulled into where we were to the house that we had in Nebraska. And once we did, my mom's van just died. Like, smoke going out. It was dramatic. It was insane. But we just pulled into the driveway. We were there, and we were so happy. It was, I'll never forget that trip.
Exhausting.
One for the ages. I mean, could have made a movie out of it.
But yeah, have you guys experienced, like, a huge move? Or just any kind of move? Like, it's exhausting. We moved here in June of 2018. I was exhausted. I was done, and I was like, I never want to move again. But we probably will, because we want to own a house. We're done renting.
Yeah. But once you own a house, I mean, you pretty much, you're there for 10, 20, 30 years, you know?
Or maybe a lifetime, like. I'm okay with that, though. Like I said, I'm done. I don't want to move anymore. This is really good.
It's hard though when you're younger and you're trying to find your way in the world and a job and something consistent, and you really don't know where you want to settle or what you want to do. Gosh, I mean, since I graduated high school, or not high school, but since I graduated college, I've probably moved 20 times. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, actually, in California, I did move. I moved out of my parents to my studio. I had a studio. And then I moved in with some roommates. Her name was Kayla and his name was Jeff. They were together, Kayla and Jeff. They were really cool people. Then I moved out to someone else's house. And then I moved back with my parents, and my parents were like, you need to better your life, so you're going to move with your sister to Colorado. That was a huge, huge change for me, because I have never lived out of state. I've been out of state, but I've never lived out of state, so I was just like, I don't know, it's going to be really, really different. But I was all for it because I really, really knew there was nothing left for me in California. Weird for a Californian to say because, oh my gosh, Hollywood, blah, 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 but it's not all that. Trust me.
Way overrated.
And Disneyland and all that. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, I'll try it out. I did, and actually this January will be 5 years that I've been in Colorado.
See, they don't always get the bone out. You gotta watch for that.
My first year here, I lived with my sister. And then my parents moved out here. So I lived with my parents for about, I'd say, another year. And then I met this guy. And I moved out with him. And then we've been through our moving as well.
We've had 2 major moves.
You probably 3. Because you went from Thistle Stage to Promenade to my parents to here. So yeah.
Who did all the heavy lifting?
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Anyway, so yeah, moving's a big thing, so if you've ever moved, let us know how it went for you. So it's funny because I always say let us know in the comments below. I get like, not all these views, but I get a few views. Nobody ever like leaves a comment like, did you ever move, or
tell us a story.
I think you can even reply with a video. You just have to tag me in it.
Or you can post a video to the comments.
Something like that, I don't know. It'd be cool to know, even if you're only my 20th view.
She's actually more interested in you
Than you are me.
probably. Ooh, I'm getting almost down to the bare minimum here.
This was bigger than the salmons we usually get, so I'm already full.
I actually had to have them cut it for me because they didn't have any smaller ones. All they had was a huge one. I was like,
They still cut it pretty big.
They did. I had them cut it in half, actually. So imagine, like, if I'd gotten the full thing.
And salmon is pretty filling, too.
It is really filling.
So if you guys are, like, doing your diet for your resolution or whatever, I would really recommend salmon because it's very filling and it's very healthy. So.
And it's not like most fish. It doesn't have the fishy taste.
Just make sure you don't eat the bottom layer because, I mean, the bottom skin, it's very fatty and slimy. I mean, it won't kill you, right?
It's, I mean, people eat like the skin when they toast it on the grill or whatever.
But I just don't recommend it because it's very slimy.
Scales. You're not going to eat it. No, it's gross.
Yeah.
Did you learn the hard way?
No, some people don't know. I'm serious. Like, what was it? There was something. Like, I think it was edamame. I saw like a mukbang. I think it was Trisha where she was like eating the edamame out. And some people don't know you have to eat the little seeds out of it. You have to like suck them out or whatever. So some people don't know. I mean, not everybody is from the U.S.
So if you're not from the U.S., because in the U.S. we don't eat the skin, but if you're not from the U.S. and you do eat the skin, let us know because that's really interesting and kind of disgusting, but interesting.
Well, I mean, it's
disgusting to us.
Some people
maybe delicious to you.
Like the texture.
And if you do eat the skin, how do you eat the skin? Do you prep it? Do you like saute it? Do you? I don't know.
Now we're getting a little crazy here.
I mean, is it a delicacy? Is there a special way to prep it? I mean, we don't know.
I think if you do it on a barbecue, it's crispy.
I was out camping with remember like last May, I think it was, when I went camping with the guys? Because it was during your birthday, that weekend.
Oh, we went to,
No, it was me and John and Nikolai, and there was like a dozen. No, I'm good. A dozen guys. You gotta eat that. Come on.
It's so filling. And usually we have like half of this.
She was all happy. She's like, salmon, I can finally finish my food.
And then I saw it and I was like, holy cow, that's huge. When he was cooking it, I did not know it was that big. Usually it's like half the size.
But when we were out there, we had a chef from the Army that was camping with us, and he was doing all the cooking. And like, we had a dozen guys, and every single one of these guys brought like a cooler full of meat, and so it was just nonstop for the whole weekend, grilling meat, eating it, like everything you could think of. I mean, everything. We had a bonfire the size of this room. I mean, it was massive. It was insane. We were literally burning trees in this bonfire, and then we had this little tiny cooking fire, and we had a huge Dutch oven, and the food was amazing. Me and my friend John went and caught fish, and we cooked fresh fish over the fire, and so what I was getting at with that is the cook, after we cleaned the fish, he took the skin and he threw it in a cast iron with butter and got it all crispy, and he was eating it. He was really, really drunk, so I don't know if that's a normal thing, but he was like, it's so good. And
I could see if it's crispy, yeah, but when it's slimy.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, if you look on the inside, there's so much fat and stuff just like that's stuck to the skin. I could see it, you know. I can see where maybe, but I don't know. That's just it doesn't sit right with me. But I have to say that I don't like skin of any kind. I don't eat skin on chicken. I always peel it off.
Unless it's fried chicken, I like the crispy.
Well, there's that, yeah. Of course.
See, if it's crispy, it's good.
So maybe if we just need to deep fat fry it and.
Don't gross out our viewers. You keep picking it up like.
You're not gonna finish?
I really did really good though. But like usually we have like half the size when we have salmon.
You can't save salmon. I mean, you got it. Well, I guess you could put it on your salad.
You can. Woo.
So, I guess we're done.
Over and out. That could be my ending. Over and out, guys. Because everybody says I'm gonna sign out, and I'm just like, but I need an opening. I need to be like,
we need help.
go in with Kristen, go in with Kristen, go in with Kristen, come grow Kristen.
Help with an intro, send her videos, and help her with coin phrase for an exit.
They're not gonna help.
Why not?
Because they're gonna take that as like theirs. Like they're gonna be like, oh, she stole it from me.
Or they could just give you suggestions.
Over and out, guys.
Try a different ending after every mukbang and see
I
which
like the
one's
over
most
and
popular.
out. No, I have never seen a mukbanger do over and out.
Over and out is
Kind of
just-
like
That's what you say when you're getting
On the
off the
military,
radio.
yeah. Well, they always say I'm signing out. That's boring too. So yeah, over and out. That's...
All right, we're signing off.
No, over and out.
Peace, homies.
Bye.